Welcome to another season of Litter Media Games of the Week. Where'd the year go? It's amazing how quickly it goes.
Out the window, man.
Yes, it did. It seems like the older we get, the faster it happens.
Yes, sir.
But the older they get, they become varsity football players, and we're seeing a lot of them moving up. The ones that have graduated and gone on to maybe bigger and better things if they're playing collegiately.
Yeah.
But more often than not, that's where your juniors become seniors and your sophomores become juniors. And this week it is Chillicothe hosting Bloom-Carroll. First time these two programs have met on the gridiron.
But there's a lot of familiarity among the staffs.
Precisely. Head coach for Bloom-Carroll was Wade Bartholomew, who is the son of Scott Bartholomew, head coach of the Chillicothe Cavaliers. He was the defensive coordinator when Wade was the head football coach at BC. Jeremy McKinney was one of his assistants, and so was Kevin Miller. They are now in different positions with Bloom-Carroll. As Wade moved on to Olentangy, Jeremy McKinney was named the head coach and had a pretty good start to his head coaching career.
Yes, he did.
Yes. And Coach Miller is coaching the defense now. That tells me that they know each other's tendencies really well.
I would think something like that, yes.
But if anything, Bloom-Carroll probably doesn't know much about Chillicothe's personnel. Scott, when he was last at Bloom-Carroll, these seniors were freshmen. So he knows the knuckleheads. Now they're men. So it'll be interesting to see these two programs meet. And they'll do so Friday night at the O. A lot of things are going on game night. That's all taking place beforehand. We're going to hear from Newt Bonner, who is the director of athletics for Chillicothe High School, later in the program. He's going to tell us more things that are going on, like the tailgating and all that kind of jazz. We'll hear from Scott Bartholomew as well as Jeremy McKinney, who we've come to know pretty well, and he seems to like us.
I think we've had him on 3 times last year.
Yes. And the only time he didn't like seeing us was when their season came to a close at Tays Valley last season. You know, you look at this, the seniors on this Bloom-Carroll team are 38-6 in their varsity career.
And there's some D1 prospects in there.
Yeah, absolutely. 27-3 in the Mid-State League. So it's pretty hot there as well. So we'll hear from Jeremy McKinney in just a moment. Oh, and we've got our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week, who we will tell you about coming up towards the end of this program. So thank you for watching and sticking with us. We'll be back with Jeremy McKinney and learn about the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs next.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Mark came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute in severe arm pain from a degenerative disc. Minimally invasive spinal surgery got him back to what matters most. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, serving Central and Southern Ohio for more than 4 decades. Give them a call for your needs at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Litter Quality Propane, online all the time. Customer payment, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
We have gotten to know this guy. Last couple of years, we've seen him a lot. And this is Jeremy McKinney, head coach of the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. And for the first time, we will see you playing against Chillicothe. We've seen the Bulldogs play at Chillicothe in the playoffs. But you come to a familiar sight, I guess, in that respect. And that has to be helpful for some of your kids.
Yeah, actually, the last time we were down there, none of these guys were in high school yet.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, so our guys haven't played there. We were down there in 2019, so they were in middle school.
Yeah,
but
I mean, for us that night.
Yeah, Waverly, and we were in the home locker room. I don't think Coach Bart's going to give us the home locker room this week, so that would be different. Probably not gonna,
you get a chance to maybe walk through, and that'll be about it, probably.
Yeah.
We want to take a look first of all at the success that this program has had. And this group of kids come in that are seniors, 38-6 over their high school careers. There's not a whole lot of programs that could say that.
Yeah. I mean, we've been awfully fortunate to have the success we have, but it's a credit to how hard they work and their dedication to what we've asked them to do.
And Coach Bart was part of that as well.
Yeah, their freshman year.
Yeah, so he's been a couple of years removed from that in that respect. But you guys have known each other, you coached together, and as I talked with Scott earlier, I said, man, you guys know your tendencies, you know just about anything and everything about each other. And that's not just you and he, but the rest of your staff knew him pretty well too, don't they?
Right. Yeah. A lot of us, there might be, I don't know, of our 13 coaches, maybe 5 that at some point didn't coach with him. So yeah, we know each other pretty well.
Yeah. In fact, when we talk your team this year, Ethan Thanavong is the first person that we talk about, probably one of the top quarterbacks in Central Ohio. And he said, we got a name for him. His name is Thanos, because nobody can say Thanavong. Yeah, that's it's been a while, but yeah, Ethan's actually in the room with me, so he got a chuckle out of that one too. Oh, it's
yeah.
Hi, Ethan.
Yeah.
How you doing?
How are you?
He was one of our McDonald's players of the game last year as well. Tell us where he stands for you. Being a senior, he's had a couple of years of starting under his belt. Everything seems to be automatic at that point in time, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, again, because we've been able to have the success we have, like this is going to be his 30th career start at quarterback. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that's going to rattle him in terms of getting ready to play in big games, whether it's this week, week 1, or at any point going forward. There's not a whole lot of guys that get to say, hey, this is my 3rd year as the starter, and I'm going to start my 30th game. He's awfully special. So we're very fortunate to have him.
Of course, you graduated a big class last year, but you've got a decent size of underclassmen coming back for this season. One of the standouts that comes to mind is Armentrout. He has gone now off to bigger and better things, but when you look at replacing somebody with his stature in the backfield, one of the kids that impressed me a lot was Bo Sherman and what we saw you. What does your backfield look like?
Right now, we're a little different offensively than we've been the last couple of years. I moved over from the defense to call the offense. Our offense coordinator, Corey Heater, went back home to Logan Elm. So if you guys get to cover the Braves this year, you get to see Coach Heater again. Right now we're rotating 3 guys back there. Bo's rotating back there. Jude Blair moved in last spring from Circleville. I think he's started at Circleville for at least the last couple of years. And then we have a sophomore named Kyson Klein, who we think is a pretty good football player too. So we're rotating through 3 backs right now back there.
And you had a decent-sized sophomore class last year that I think you're probably going to lean on as juniors this year, too.
Yeah, there's 31 of them, 31 juniors. So while they don't have a lot of experience yet, they're still pretty talented, too. So I think as the season goes, some of those names will be more familiar to people as we go, because they're going to have to step up and play in roles that they just haven't had to yet.
Tell me about this transition from calling the defense as you have, and now you're jumping into the offensive side. There's a lot of people who will say, what's the defensive coach know about offense? Well, I've seen it work out many times.
My first 11 years coaching high school football, I actually coached offense. So it isn't totally new. Now, it's been a long time. I haven't coached offense since 2011. So it's been interesting. Really, the first time it truly hit me was game planning this week. It's a lot different to game plan for an opponent's offense than an opponent's defense. There's a lot more behind the scenes film work if you're the call on the defense, because you're reacting to what they're doing as opposed to just kind of dictating what's happening. So that was the biggest thing. I felt like I should have been doing more, just because on defense it's so much work to get a game plan ready together. But so far so good. I mean, we did a 7-on-7 this year. I'm not a 7-on-7 guy, so we went down to New Lex and did a 7-on-7, and it was a tournament format, so we got to play four different games that day. So that was good. Kind of break the ice, calling offensive plays for the first time in a long time. So far the transitions have been pretty good. We got a great defensive staff, so it was kind of odd at first to hand that to someone else after so long of being on that side of the ball, but they're doing a great job over there too.
I get a feeling for you it's going to be like riding a bike, really back into flow of things and everything. Chillicothe fans are probably hoping that will happen week 2, but now you take on a team that you've, like I say, personnel-wise, you don't know a whole lot about. First time the two programs have met on the gridiron. What are your concerns with going into this contest?
I think it's really the unknown for us. Like we traded scrimmage film, so you see a little bit, but because they're scrimmages, not everyone's going to show everything they're doing or all their different adjustments to stuff. So I think that's really the hardest part about week 1 is you think you have an idea, but there's always some things that you weren't able to prepare for just because it wasn't shown, as opposed to if you're playing someone week 5 or 6, you see their last 3 games. At that point, you really get an idea for what they're doing. What Chillicothe does well, I think they send a lot of pressures on defense. They're pretty aggressive defensively. I think they run to the ball well. That they have some linebackers that really run well and tackle well. And then on offense, they're doing some really good stuff schematically. They're doing some a lot of stuff with some double tight end stuff that we haven't seen a whole lot in the past. So it'll be a little different for us too, insofar as defending them.
And that's new for Chillicothe also. As you well know, and as Scott explained to us the other day, you adjust to the personnel that you have with some of these schemes, and this is going to be a new look for Chillicothe fans to see as well.
I think they're doing a good job with it, though. Like some of they're throwing a variety of screens. Different guys are still running the ball, even though they're mostly one-back sets. Like they're doing a good job of making you defend the whole field.
Going into this, sophomore quarterback for Chillicothe, you were in that position 2 years ago with Thanos. And
sure.
Now you find yourself, you've got the experience on your side, and there's probably going to be sophomore decision-making on the other side. But when you put a kid at quarterback as a sophomore, you've got to have some confidence in him and let him have those opportunities to learn.
Right. And I'm sure, Coach Bart has enough experience that they wouldn't be playing a kid that they didn't think could get the job done for him.
Yeah. One of the differences, I think, might be the kicking game. You've got a kid who could really boot the ball last year. I can only imagine he's bigger and stronger than he was last year.
Drayton does a great job for us. Against Athens, to your point, against Athens in the playoffs there, week 11, he kicked a kickoff through the uprights. I'd never seen that live in person before. So when he gets a hold of it, he can send it pretty far. And he recently, probably, I guess at this point, maybe a month ago, a little less than a month ago, committed to kick at Bowling Green next year.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Thanks.
If I'm not mistaken, he has had some additional coaching from Drew Basil, which is a tie right to Chillicothe as well.
Yeah, I think in all 4 years in high school, I think that's been Trayton's kicking coach, if you will. So, yeah, he works with him all the time.
And that helps. All right. Yep. Big game. You'll travel well. We expect a lot of people coming down here from Fairfield County, and looking forward to seeing the purple and gold make their way here. Good luck to you, Friday.
Thank you very much.
Jeremy McKinney, head coach of the Bloom-Carroll Bulldogs. We'll continue in just a moment.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. As we get ready for opening night, this week in particular, it's a special week because the Chillicothe School District is doing a lot of promotion for the game. Want to get a lot of people out to the O.
Yeah, I think they're trying to just create an atmosphere of family and enjoyment. And I mean, we're having fish fry. I think they're going to have some games and things like that going on and make it kind of a family thing and try to create that atmosphere that it's good to come to a high school football game and bring your kids.
Yes, tailgating and a whole lot more will be going on. Cornhole tournament and everything as well. So bring extra cash with you so you can participate in the good stuff there. You're going to be facing Bloom-Carroll, and let's start right off talking about this game in particular. This is a program you're more than familiar with, having spent 6 years there as a defensive coach, and one of the fellows you coached with is now their head coach.
Yes. Jeremy McKinney, and he coached with us all the years I was there, and he's a great guy, and he's a very good football coach, and he retained Kevin Miller and Jack Cheek are outstanding football coaches. So the level of coaching that these kids are receiving is excellent. And they've just had, we were able to get that thing turned when we were there years ago, and they've just kept it going and done a really nice job with it. And I think, the year after we left, they were in the state championship game, and then they Final Four game last year, so they have a lot of that confidence that just kind of goes from year to year to build that tradition, and these guys as coaches do an excellent job.
Yeah, and if anything, having worked with them, they know your tendencies. They know what you would probably want to do defensively and everything.
Well, and I think that's one of the more important things, even knowing and understanding the coordinators that you play against and understanding what they do and how they teach and what they expect. I mean, because you try to use those things in your advantage if you can. And, no matter whether you're playing someone where you've coached before or just someone or and some coaches like to run trick plays. Some coaches like to blitz a little bit more than other coaches. Some coaches believe in this thing. So you kind of use that to the best of your ability you can. So, Ryan Cheek is the defensive coordinator. Jeremy went from defense over to offense this year. And, Jeremy's first year, calling offense, but I know Jeremy's personality. He does a great job. He's going to do things. He's just going to continue to do the things he does correctly, and then he's not going to expand on a bunch of stuff. And Ryan coached with us there for a couple years, and he's defensively. A little bit about the style. He's aggressive, come downhill, attack type of guy, and his defense is going to be very aggressive and get after it and be very physical.
We, through Litter Media Radio, had the opportunity to see Bloom-Carroll a couple of times last year, and they've got one of the top quarterbacks in Central Ohio in Ethan Van Thunevong.
Yeah, Ethan, we called him Thanos. That's what we always called him when I was there, and I don't know if they still do or not, but Ethan's an outstanding kid. He's that kid, even as a freshman. He came in the mornings before school and got his workouts in and was throwing. He is who he is because of his work habits, and he's a great individual. I watch him stand in the pocket. He's very confident, but as a senior who played in a state championship game as a sophomore and a Final Four game as a freshman, he watched, and in the Final Four game he played in as a junior. Now he's just that savvy quarterback back there. He just stands there until he understands what's going on and he gets rid of the ball. He's a great leader of that team.
Yeah, and they usually have strength in numbers.
Yeah, they do have a lot of numbers, and that's been something that's happened here in the last 5 or 6 years. The numbers have really increased for them, and when you have bodies, it helps with your depth. It helps with injuries and those kind of things. So they're in pretty good shape where they're at right now.
Let's talk about the Cavaliers. Tell me, who is your man running the offense now, and some of the faces that we'll get a chance to see.
Well, the man that's running the offense is Anthony Wagner. I turned it over to him, and coming from Logan Elm with us, he played for me, and now he's going to call the offense, and he's done a really good job with our kids. But as far as the young man that's going to run the offense's quarterback position is Andrew Hammond. He's a sophomore. He's a heady kid. He's that kid. I talked about Ethan this winter. Andrew, I took him 2 or 3 times up to on a Sunday morning to West Jeff to their indoor facility. Grandpa drove him there a couple times. Mom drove him there a couple times. But every Sunday he got up in the wintertime and went to West Jeff to work out and do quarterback drills and try to make himself better. And, those are the kids that you want in your program. Those are the type of kids you want that's going to do the extras. And so, he's going to be a sophomore. That's what sophomores are. And even like I was talking about with Ethan, his sophomore year, he had some issues. And so, Andrew's he's just going to be a sophomore, but he's going to make some plays. It's going to be really exciting. And so, our job is to limit the positions and places we put him in so that he can be more successful.
And the reason to go to West Jefferson, there's one of your proteges there as well.
Yeah, Coach Bisher, who coached for me years ago at Oak Hill and at Westfall. He's the head coach there, and he was I hired him as a quarterback coach, and so it was either him or my son, who I also had as a quarterback coach, and but my son was an hour and a half away, and Bisher was an hour away. So we took the shorter trip. And Sean, he's got a son that's a junior, and so he does those workouts in the winter. And Andrew went every Sunday, and I thought he showed much improvement while we were there.
And Sean was part of the Cavaliers at one point in time back when Bill Dennis was in.
Well, when I left Oak Hill, I didn't have a job at Westfall for Sean, and so he came to Chillicothe for 1 year, and then he came to Westfall the following year. So Mr. Craigo
made history.
Yeah, Mr. Craigo was our superintendent up there, and I talked him into hiring Sean from down here. So
it worked out.
Yep.
As for this offense, do you have the same offensive scheme? I mean, we've seen so much of the wide open play.
We each year you adjust a little bit based on your personnel and what you have. And this year we have a really nice group of seniors, and the majority of those seniors are linemen, big bodies. And so we looked at our situation and said, why don't we look at a double tight package? So we took 2 of our starting offensive linemen from last year and made them tight ends. And so then we used the rest of the guys to fill in. And then so we're going to be in a 2 tight, 2 wide set. We'll still be in a gun, 1 back set. But these 2 kids are very skilled in receiving the ball, but they're offensive linemen. So we should and hopefully be able to have some success running the ball because of the people we have up front.
All throughout my time of being around Chillicothe football, skills positions have always been very good. And if you can get those outer edge blocking schemes going, you can hit that outside and make some things happen with those kids.
And it's funny because you say that. It's like I had somebody from Chillicothe tell me, this is the least amount of skill kids I've seen at Chillicothe in years. Right? Now, we have some good skill kids, but the depth of the skill kids and the skill kid position. So that was one of the other reasons that we went to this package, was because of the depth that we had. We feel that the skill kids that we have are very good, but there wasn't the depth there that we thought we needed. So that was another reason that we went to this offensive package.
Coach Scott Bartholomew, the Chillicothe Cavaliers, you've had some insider comments from people who have been around the program, and they feel pretty good about Chillicothe this year.
Well, I don't know how inside they are. There is a high expectation. I think Scott told us off camera, and I don't think I'm giving too much away here, that they are young in some positions. And you don't know what you don't know. I mean, you can practice against, your people, but game speed is a whole different animal than practice speed, unless you just have a bunch of beasts on your team. And some teams are fortunate enough to have that. So I think Friday night is going to tell a lot about some of the more inexperienced players, very athletic, but inexperienced as far as that game scenario. So, I think first 2 quarters will tell us a lot. Chillicothe only won 1 game all last year, but the 2 games that we broadcast came down to the last play of the game. St. Charles, one of them, they make it to the playoffs. Hillsborough was the other. I'm pretty sure they were in the playoffs.
Yes, they were.
So you lose 2 games basically on the last play of the game, and I think St. Charles, you might remember, Chile made a ton of mistakes.
Mental errors, yeah.
Coughed the ball up 3 times, I think, inside the opposing 25-yard line, which you think that's going to be a score. So coulda, woulda, if, as the old ball coach Morris Gullion used to say. So, yeah, I think first couple of quarters could be big to show this team, hey, you have a reason to be confident.
I'm happy to see a little reversal, though. You look at what Coach Bart said about not having the skill positions like they normally have at Chillicothe as far as personnel is concerned in depth. But I remember Ron Hinton saying to me several times, Dan, where are the big kids at? Sounds like the big kids are now part of the program.
Right.
And so good to have those earth movers up front because they can provide things. I recall perhaps the best offensive line I saw during my 30-plus years of Chillicothe football was the 98 squad and 99. Those 2 particular teams were able to just give the skill positions the necessary time they needed to make that offense run. And, boy, did it run. Behind Adam Porter at quarterback his senior year and Jimmy Skinner, who stepped in the next year. So hopefully we'll see something like that happen for the Chillicothe Cavaliers this year for the Cavalier fans that are watching the game.
Well, Scott said they will be a predominantly run team, and that is good news for an inexperienced quarterback.
Sure.
Where you maybe have to throw 1 time in a series of 4 downs, instead of like Bloom-Carroll, they're going to be spraying the ball all over the place. So.
Which is kind of, again, not what they did a lot last year. They had the talent at running back, speaking of Bloom-Carroll, and so they ran the ball like crazy.
But do you remember the last drive against Jackson?
Yes.
When they had to throw, they were winging it.
Yes. And on the money.
Yes, sir.
And go back to the big body of Michael Stevenson, who was a tight end last year, will be again this year. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy told us after the interview that he is going to Colgate.
Oh, wow.
Already committed to Colgate.
Yeah.
And so, but what a great catch in the middle of the field to keep that drive alive against Jackson. And of course,
well, that was the game winner.
Yeah.
The ball over that was perfectly thrown. When I think you were on the field, a ground level shot, that ball was over the defensive secondary player for Jackson. It missed his hand by that far. It was just perfectly placed by Thanthanavong. So he's a dandy. Columbus Dispatch vote, he was the top quarterback in all of Central Ohio, all divisions.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful, folks.
That is. He is not committed to college anywhere yet. Jeremy did tell me that the place kicker, his name begins Trayton McKee, has committed to kick for Bowling Green.
He's a good one.
Yeah.
He's a good one.
So that's pretty cool. All right, coming up in a moment, we will hear from Newt Bonner. He is the Director of Athletics for Chillicothe High School, and I had a text from him just a moment ago. He says, I'm knee-deep in fish right now, getting ready for the fish fry. And there's a lot of perch that's going to be taken care of this coming Friday night. So if you want to participate in the fish fry, we've got some details coming up for you. And the other things going on as the pregame begins at 4 o'clock tomorrow at Chillicothe High School's Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex. Details coming up next with Newt Bonner.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance on and off the track.
All right, well, here we go, baby. Wall on your left, three to your right, hard left, get on the gas, going for the win. There you go.
That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Serving our area for more than 4 decades, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If you click on any ad on our website, you'll find more information. AccurateHVAC.com.
Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
"92 years of serving propane users in Southern and Central Ohio. Reliable supply, reliable service, reliable people. Litter Quality Propane."
Bloom-Carroll, Chillicothe, Friday night at the O. And this is a big opponent coming here. Yeah. They will bring a crowd. There's no question about it. You've seen Wheelersburg crowds travel. Bloom-Carroll's crowd will travel.
Yeah, real good program. Multiple deep playoff runs in the last, probably 4 or 5 years under Coach Bartholomew, and then the train kept rolling when they replaced him from within. I mean, Bloom's a very solid football team. Real good football culture, like you said. I'm sure they're going to travel very well. The O at Turnstine Field seats about 3,800, and I would have to imagine we're going to see every bit of that come through the gates.
The initials STO come to mind, standing room only. So when we look at setting this up, we're really promoting this not only as the season opener, but starting at 4 o'clock, there is a bunch of stuff to do.
Yeah, so, the district put together a new strategic plan where we, kind of wanted to see what direction we needed to go to help benefit the district. And one of the things that we found in that plan is a need for more community engagement. So we've kind of put together a few task forces, and one of them, we highlighted this first home football game as as a great day to kind of kick into that community engagement, getting involved, bringing the community together around events. The Cavalier Club for years always hosted a fish fry on the first home football game. Kind of went away maybe 10-ish years ago, it feels like. So Aaron Brown and I, as part of the task force, decided that, let's bring back a tradition. Let's have a fish fry. We're frying. We've ordered 400 pounds of perch. So that's from what I'm told, that's about 800 dinners worth. So we're starting up at 4:00. Come on down to CIS. We'll be there on the playground side of CIS. There will be a pickup line if you just want to come by and grab fish, but more than welcome. We're going to have a DJ, cornhole, some face painting for the kids. Just a fun environment to really kick off fall sports and get rolling as we start the new school year.
When the O was redone and renovated, parking was very accessible, something that was always a problem in the years prior. But now you've got this tailgating event going on. Where will all of that take place? Will it be at the intermediate school or where?
Yeah, so we've got a couple grassy areas there on the south side of the stadium, where we're going to have a tent set up for anyone to eat. Get their dinner and head over. We'll have seating for about 100. We'll have a DJ there on the lawn closer to the basketball courts and the old shot put area. And then we'll have cornhole kind of set up. We're still trying to figure out how exactly we're going to keep the bus parking segregated from the party, but we'll definitely have some areas for kids to be kids.
Yeah, and with the arrival of the Bloom-Carroll crowd, that also includes their marching band, which probably is going to be 5 buses.
4. I was
is it 4?
4. I was wondering what that number was going to be. They're bringing more marching band buses than football buses.
Yeah.
We're going to have 4 marching band buses from Bloom. Been told really fun band to watch. So
they are.
Yeah.
They are. But if you want the fish fry and you're not going to the game, you've got a drive-through planned.
Yes. Yep. So coming there in front of CIS where there's a short drive in front of the main office building entrance. So if you're coming to the game, obviously we don't want you to, or not coming to the game, but coming to get fish. We're not going to charge you for parking just to come and get a fish sandwich. That, it's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, we're trying to get as many people there as possible. But we're not trying to make every dollar possible off you. So if you want a fish sandwich, want a fish dinner, don't plan on staying for the game, you can swing by that front drive-through in front of CIS, and there at the corner, we'll be happy to get you your fish dinner, fish sandwich ready to go.
Yeah, and so many people will come and get that dinner, and they'll drive home, eat it, and then come back for the game itself.
Or stay home and watch the Litter Media Game of the Week.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well, yeah.
You could have that.
I appreciate the cross-promotion there. The game itself starts at 7, so... and let's be honest, like Ohio State games, it seems like at CHS there's a late arrival and the crowd just continues to build through the first half.
Historically, that is the case. We had a new assistant principal last year, and he came up to me during the game. He was like, "Hey, I thought you said we were going to have a good crowd game 1 against St. Charles last year." I said, "Well, I know our crowd should be pretty good. I don't expect much from St. Charles." He looks up and he goes, "There's 5 minutes to go on the clock and there's no one here." I said, "Brady, just wait."
Yeah.
We've got a crowd that likes to show up right at 7:00. Mm-hmm. They show up though.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. They show up.
Well, when I was in high school, we used to always say it was because they came to see the band. They got there in time for halftime. So it should be a lot of fun this Friday night. Again, the Litter Media Game of the Week, and we'll have the radio coverage for you on our Litter Media Radio. Just go to littermedia.com, click on the radio icon, and it takes you right. You'll find it right there. Yeah, it's true. They did come to watch the band at halftime sometimes. There was times where we had a small crowd, the halftime show was done, and then everybody left. But I will tell you, and Scott Bartholomew was telling me this a while ago, and I told him, I said, "Well, you were the athlete, I was not." And he says, "No, you sell you guys short." because he's watched high school bands over the years. He knows the physical nature of marching through a show, blowing wind through an instrument during that 8 to 10 minute period.
Yeah.
And anymore, they're part of the pregame. They're in the stands. They're playing during the games. And man, to have the conditioning that I had back when I was a teenager.
Did you feel tired after a game?
There was one time I passed out, and it was at a competition show. We were wearing our full uniforms in August, and it was at, where was it? Over by Steubenville, wherever Steve Poffman, our assistant band director, was from. And we had gone all the way over there. It was a long trip over. I basically allowed myself to I didn't hydrate properly. And when we got done, man, I was leaning up against the fence. I've seen other people pass out.
Wow.
Dave Colburn's brother was in front of me. He stood about 6'4", and we had these marching hats that looked like Marge Simpson's hair. Mm-hmm. So he's like 7 foot tall.
Wow.
He's in front of me. He's a sophomore, and he's standing at parade rest. This was at Westland High School. He's got his trumpet in his hand. He's got his arm behind his back. He's standing there in parade rest, and I see him just lean forward, and he didn't stop.
Wow.
Face plant. And so a lot of physicality in the marching band. And we hope to maybe continue our marching band features that we do with the Litter Media extras and everything. So all that happens on game night. So looking forward to that. And this Bloom-Carroll band, they'll bring a bunch of kids. And Chillicothe's band is fantastic as well, too. They've done a great job in building that program up to where it used to be. So all part of the fun of a high school football Friday night, which brings back the fish fry again and all the things that take place beforehand. Happy to see they're making that happen. So maybe we'll have fish before the game Friday.
Could be.
Coming up in a moment, our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. Details when we return with the Litter Media Game of the Week preview show.
Our financial lives have never been more complex, and some decisions just can't wait, which is why our K&B Mobility app gives you instant access to the financial tools you need wherever you are. Get a clear picture of all of your accounts, check your daily transactions, receive account alerts, and much more. So no matter where you are or what you are doing, you can make the best decisions for you and your financial goals. Download our Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway-Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway-Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
Each week, Litter Media presents the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week. If you have an athlete to nominate, any amateur athlete is eligible. Simply visit littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. At the end of the year, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Make your nominations now at littermedia.com. Click on Player of the Week. And we're going to announce this week's Player of the Week right now. She is Chillicothe's Bella Flora. Bella Flora, listen at me. I've messed it up already. I apologize, Bella. Bella Flores, she is our Player of the Week. She is undefeated this regular season. And this is on the heels, Mike, of her going 15-0 last year in the regular season as the number one singles player. She was a D1 district qualifier last fall. And so far this year, she has defeated the singles players for Miami Trace, 6061, Wheelersburg, 6061, Circleville, 6060, and Hillsborough, 6061.
Great start.
That is a great start. So congratulations to Bella, our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Littermedia Player of the Week. And if you have someone you would like to nominate, please do. You can send us an email to littermedia@littercorp.com. In fact, you'll find that information on our website, littermedia.com. Just go there, and you see all the players that have been Players of the Week, including Cole Miller, who was our Player of the Year for 2023. All right, getting ready for the big game, the kickoff for the 2024 football season, Chillicothe, Bloom-Carroll. Any predictions, or you just want to? I have a feeling you're going to say it's going to be a dandy.
I hope it's a dandy. Bloom-Carroll's the real deal, folks.
Yeah.
And Scott basically says it's not that I don't think we can win. He says we got to play well to win.
Yeah.
Because Bloom-Carroll is the real deal.
Looking forward to it, and I'm just happy to be able to get up into the press box again. So
we hope you can get into the press box.
I'll probably not be carrying any equipment. I'll meet you there. And I'll probably not go at the same speed you'll go up there. So, but looking forward to it. We'll see you at the Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex, a.k.a. the O, Friday night. For Mike Smith, for this guy over here, Mr. Hand, too. Oh, and by the way, don't forget, B.J. Daly joins us in the booth on Litter Media Radio. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again shortly.